Hello and welcome to today's episode of Trail Impressions. I'm out here walking on one of my favorite trails here in Central Finland. And in this series I talk about hiking and camping and outdoors and what it feels like to be out here. In today's video I want to talk about things that people are scared of about hiking. Fear is not something that we should be ashamed of anymore. It actually exists in order to keep us alive. It helps us focus our energy on things that are essential for survival. And being completely fearless is really rare, and it can actually be dangerous. Many people are afraid of forest and darkness and things that they cannot see. Animals as well are a big part of hiking fears, like big predators, snakes, spiders, ticks. Some fears may be partly biological and not learned. So not all fears actually came from something that has happened to us directly. So how does fear actually work? It starts with a stimulus. So you see something or you hear something, and after that comes our interpretation. And at the interpretation phase, we can still do something about it. We could gently intervene. So my body reacts first, and then comes my thoughts. And my thoughts are often the thing that keeps the fear going. So the physical feeling of fear goes away rather quickly. But replaying thoughts and imagining outcomes and consuming too much scary information can actually keep the fear going. So sometimes it's not the trail that scares us, it's what we tell ourselves. So learning about things that you're afraid of can actually help with coping with them. So for example, how animals behave. But then again, over-consuming information can increase fear. So if you read about ticks and you read how to stay safe from them and what precautions you can do, that can actually help coping with the fear. But if you read too much about them, you might start to imagine all the places they can be, and knowing too much about them can make you more scared, and it could even cause you being too afraid to go out in the nature where ticks might be. If a fear is small enough, it can actually turn into excitement. Like for example, seeing a bear out in the wild. If you're not too afraid of that possibility, then when it happens, it can actually feel really exciting. Which is something that happened to me on the Appalachian Trail. I was not too afraid of seeing a bear anyway, but all the times that I saw one was really exciting and interesting. And I was really happy that I had the opportunity to see them in their natural habitat. But if a fear is too strong, then it doesn't leave space for anything positive. And having courage is not actually absence of fear. Courage is the counterforce for fear, and courage often grows after surviving something scary. Many fears come because we don't know how we might act or how to act. You could say that courage often comes after fear and not before it. So say you encounter something scary, but you live through it, and after that it might not feel so scary anymore. Some examples of like everyday hiking fears are, for example, fear of getting lost and fear of encountering animals like dogs or cattle, fear of walking alone, and fear of being too slow. And these are all really normal fears. Even experienced hikers have these fears. Some of the fears that I have had concerning hiking, especially before leaving for the Appalachian Trail, I was pretty much mostly afraid that I would get injured and then I would not be able to complete the hike. Another thing that I was afraid of was the weather, because I had not experienced, for example, a storm or a lightning storm in mountains before. And even though I read about it, I read what you're supposed to do if you get sort of stuck in a lightning storm in a mountain, I still was a little bit afraid, because kind of before you experience it and know that it'll be okay, there is that fear present. Whoa, it's so pretty. Let me show you this. And even though I left by myself to hike solo, I was still a little bit afraid of the social aspect. I was afraid that I wouldn't know how to make friends in a new country, in a new culture. Well, being a Finn, I thought I might be too antisocial, but that turned out to be a baseless fear. And I was afraid of the uncertainty, because I so badly wanted to be able to hike the whole trail, but there was no way to make sure that that was going to happen. So I was afraid that something somehow would come and prevent me from hiking the whole trail. Being afraid doesn't mean that you shouldn't go. It just means that you are a human. So if you can, don't let fear stop you from going on hikes or chasing your dreams in general.